Listeners beware. This podcast contains adult content.
Take this to your grave. Take this to your grave. Secrets are no fun unless you share with everyone. So take this to your grave.
Recording.
It's going.
This is so weird.
Finally!
I know. I haven't even kept track of how long it's been. Have you?
No, I know it's been longer than 2 weeks, though. We had a nice little break.
I know you said we'll be back in a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, God. Probably months.
And look, the clown tie is making a comeback.
Yes.
After so
yours is
long, I had to
so
blow all the
cute.
dust off of it and everything.
Yeah, I love it. You look great.
Thank you so much. You look great,
As
too.
usual. Thank you. I don't feel like I look great, so I appreciate you saying that.
Yes, you do.
Oh, thank you. You look great.
Admit it.
Well, welcome back to Take This to Your Grave, the podcast where Jake and I read your anonymously submitted stories to each other, and we dive a little bit deeper into each submission, and we teach each other some stuff, we laugh, we cry. Then we bury these submissions in the cemetery of secrets, and then everything's cool, right, Jake?
Excellent. Yes, that's precisely what we do.
What is that you're drinking there?
Please don't judge me. It is a Natty Light. It
Oh,
is
Margot.
the cheap frat boy beer. But you get a 30-pack for $20. Can't go wrong.
Jesus Christ, that is so cheap. That's amazing. I'm drinking a Truly pineapple.
Gluten-free?
Yes, gluten-free. I've been obsessed with Truly since I was diagnosed with celiac disease. So, yeah, it's my favorite. It's juice.
Clink me.
Clink, 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 clink. Oh, feels good to do that again.
Mmm. Delicious.
Delicious.
All right, Emily, I don't think I can wait any longer. Are you ready to go back to the Cemetery of Secrets?
I'm so ready. Do you have the skeleton key?
I have it.
All right, let's go. Ooh, spooky. It looks just like I remember it.
Yeah, it's so good to be back. Except it looks a little overgrown with weeds. Did you forget to pay the lawn guy?
I thought you paid him.
No, that's always been your job. Do you know what? Let's just talk about this later.
Sorry. Did you bring the lantern?
Yeah, I got it right here. Let's go ahead and light the ceremonial lantern.
Well, now that we're finally settled, do you want to read first?
Yes, I'm so ready. This is from fake name Stepsis.
Okay.
Subject, what are you doing, step bro? And the first sentence of the submission says it all. Buckle up, bitches. Okay, so my dad has this ex-girlfriend. They were together from the time I was 11 until I was like 15. She was a big part of my life, especially at such a pivotal age. I am still close with her, and I talk with and see her often. I also still refer to her as my stepmom. She has a son who is 2 months older than me. There was always this sexual tension between my stepbrother and I.
Oh, shit.
Fast forward to our freshman year of college. I went to the lake with my stepmom and her kids. During this trip, I was informed that my stepbrother got his girlfriend of 3 years pregnant. On the way home, we stopped for some ice cream cones, and my stepbrother kept joking about how shocked he was that I could deep throat the cone so far.
Ew, appropriate.
Yeah. But he was always a sexual jokester, so I just laughed it off.
Typical.
He texted me later and told me I should come over to his house the next day to drink and watch the movies while his pregnant girlfriend was at work. Needless to say, I fucked my stepbrother 7 times while Aladdin and various Disney movies played in the background.
7 times? 7
times!
Disney movies? Stepbrother?
I love that detail.
I do too. That's an
I
amazing
will
detail.
show
And fuck
you
this
the
guy.
world.
Yeah. Stepsister, I will.
In the background while they're fucking. Step siblings.
Damn. That is dirty. This guy sucks.
Okay. So she continues. He broke up with his girlfriend the following week, saying that their relationship had really been rocky and that they had just really been staying together for the baby anyways. We were a thing for 6 months until just before the baby came. I realized we had nothing in common, and the only good thing about our relationship was the sex. It's been 2 years now. He got back together with his baby mama after I broke it off with him, and she still has no idea about us to this day. They are still together, and their daughter will be 2 years old soon. As for me, I had a boyfriend after him, but since then, I've come out as a lesbian, and I've only dated girls since. However, I still consider him to be the first or second best sex I've ever had. And if he texted me right now and asked, I'd fuck him another 7 times. The end.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel like there's so much that I want to say. So I wonder if there are like Thanksgiving or like, birthday family dinners that happen. And it's like, okay, here's my stepsister. And little does she know that they were like, fucking, oh my God. That is crazy. This is like a movie. This is amazing. I love this shit.
I mean, the fact that they're not blood related, it makes it
yeah.
totally cool, in my opinion.
Totally. Just socially awkward.
Socially awkward, like there's a layer of family taboo there, just because her dad and his mom were married at one point.
Totally.
And even if they were still married when this happened, there's no law that says you can't get with your step-sibling.
I don't think that that's an uncommon thing. I feel like there's somebody from our high school. Remember the girl that messages us about the pyramid scheme stuff?
Oh my God, yes.
I'm pretty sure she and her stepbrother, like, totally got together.
Oh my God, you're right.
But I doubt this is an uncommon thing. Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, of course, step-siblings, you're in the same house.
It's asking a lot. Like, for her dad to get remarried, knowing full and well that his new wife has a son that's almost the same age as his daughter, and they're both 15 years old. Like, you're forcing them to be under the same roof during, like, the height of sexual awakening.
Exactly.
The parents
you should have known. Yeah.
I mean, I know that the parents knew.
Or had a hunch.
That it was going to cause some awkwardness.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I blame them for all of this.
The only really immoral thing that happened was that they fucked each other whenever they both knew full and well that his girlfriend was very pregnant.
Yeah, and that they were still together.
I'm glad that he got back together with his girlfriend and he's being a father to his daughter, but just maybe steer clear from him, right?
He's a piece of shit. Well, I think he is. I don't know. I'm a little tipsy right now. I just think it's shitty to cheat on your pregnant girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Whether it's with your stepsister or not. Like, I feel like he's the shithead in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've totally been there and like totally in a position where it's like, I know it's probably not the right thing for me to sleep with this person, but I'm going to anyway.
But you didn't have a fetus that you needed to be considering.
Right. I didn't have a boyfriend. I didn't have a pregnant boyfriend. So, I mean, so it was fine. But you know what? I think he's shitty in this situation.
Damn.
I really do.
Well, I feel like this was probably a big stepping stone for the stepsis who wrote in her own, sexual understanding of herself. Because, like she said at the very end, that she has come out as lesbian since. And he really did show her the world, like Aladdin said, where she was like, maybe I don't love dick. Even though she does say that he was the first or second best sex she's ever had. But maybe it was because it was so risque.
Yeah, maybe. I can show you the world.
Yeah, they had magic carpet vibes.
Silly.
Well, anyways, I thought that one was juicy.
So
Thank you for
good.
writing in steps, sis.
Hell yeah. Good job, Jake.
Thank you.
Way to start off the season with a bang.
Hey, with 7 bangs, actually.
Oh, God. That is so funny. Good job. That was good.
Thanks.
Should I just jump in?
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay. So this is from Viola. Subject, the urge to purge. Hi, Emily and Jake. Longtime listener here. Congratulations on finishing season 1 of the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Here's a story for your upcoming season. It's a bit of a lengthy one, but I just wanted to try and describe the circumstances that led to this strange impulse I've developed in recent months. Let me start by saying that I am an only child, and I have never had to share a bathroom with anyone else long term.
How bougie.
Obviously, I've shared a bathroom with another person for a few days at a time, a couple of nights spent at a partner's house, sharing a hotel room on vacation, sleepovers as a child, etc., etc. But overall, long term, I've always had my own bathroom. However, this past June, I moved into an apartment with some friends and am sharing a bathroom with somebody else for the first time. I have IBS, so I've been a little worried about how this was going to work with the when you gotta go of it all. But I figured if millions of couples are making it work, bowel issues and all, I can share a bathroom with a friend and live to tell the tale. But this is not a poop story. I've got plenty of those too. We've all got our own dollar store poop nightmare. I'm just lucky that the last time it happened to me, I was wearing underwear and a panty liner. Parentheses. Though, side note to Emily, not telling us what you grabbed from the aisle will only make my mind wander to even weirder places than whatever you probably did. Sorry.
This is what I warned you about.
I know. Sorry for bringing it up. Consider your secret buried. Asterisk lights lantern.
Aww. I
thought
love
that
it.
was funny. And you know what? I did that on purpose. I want y'all to wonder. I would prefer for you to think it's worse than what it actually was. Because that makes me feel better about what I actually did.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho. She says again, this is not a poop story. As it turns out, my tiny bladder was the culprit I needed to be worried about all along.
Oh no.
One night, about 2 months after I moved in, I had a few too many beers and fell asleep early. When I woke up, a few hours had passed and it was a little after midnight, and I had to pee like nobody's business. I was bursting with it. The beers had caught up with me and it was well past my time to break the seal. I rushed out to the bedroom, clenching my kegels, and I darted towards the bathroom that I share with one of my roommates.
Clenching my kegels.
Yeah, I thought kegels were what it was called when you did the exercise, but honestly, I don't know.
Just clenching her crotch really hard.
The bathroom light was on, the door was locked, and the shower was running. I was fucked. I looked around my apartment. My other two roommates, who sleep in the master with the attached bath, had the lights off and had clearly been asleep for a while. I didn't want to bang on their door and wake them up and beg to use their personal bathroom. I could bang on the door of my shared bathroom, if my showering roommate could even hear me over the spray, and insist my roommate get out and let me pee. But we'd only lived together for a couple of months, and we just didn't have that kind of relationship yet, even if he would probably be nice about it. I sure as hell knew I wasn't going to make it down the stairs and to the nearest gas station in time to not have an accident.
It was that bad?
It was that bad. I've been there. Hello. So I did what I think a lot of people would have done in my situation.
I think I know.
I looked around for something to pee in and found a giant glass beer tanker sitting on my desk. It's a very big tanker, designed to hold almost 3 beers, so it's got a very wide mouth.
Okay.
More than enough space for me to know it could cover my entire crotch. I'm a vagina-having person, and we can't really aim, so this was a necessity. And so, I peed, relieving my aching bladder, while my roommate showered in our bathroom. It was a one-time fix to what would hopefully be a one-time problem. I waited until much later that night when I thought all of my roommates would be asleep. Then I snuck out of my room with my pee mug and flushed my shameful secret down the toilet. It should have ended there. That should have been that.
Oh, God.
It's not like that first time I peed in the tanker, I had some come to Jesus moment. There was no, aha! I hadn't thought of it as fun or kinky or anything like that. Just a moment of human necessity. Yet, for some reason, once I had done it a single time, I later had the impulse to do it again. About a week went by before the next time I peed in the tanker.
What?
Full disclosure, I had smoked a decent amount of weed beforehand, so my judgment may have been a little impaired, but...
And there wasn't even anyone in the bathroom?
I had just used the bathroom about 20 minutes before, yet my little baby sparrow bladder was already telling me I needed to go again. I was high, slightly paranoid, and I have social anxiety, so for some reason I was worried that if my roommate heard me using the bathroom again so quickly after the last time that he was going to judge me. I totally get that, especially if you don't know them that well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, well, you know exactly what to do about that.
Yep, I have a solution.
So I peed in the beer tanker a second time. And apparently, this established a pattern. It has happened probably about 25 times since the first incident during the summer. For only 3 of them was the bathroom actually occupied.
Oh my god! Okay.
It's not something I set out to do, just some weird fucking impulse that I cannot explain. The shared bathroom is literally 4 feet from my bedroom door. It's not like it's some great inconvenience. The weird, wide straddle, bent-legged position I have to achieve to pee in the tanker without worrying about jostling and splashback is significantly less convenient than the quick trip to the bathroom would have been. And for some reason, I persist. The thing is, I can't actually figure out if it's sexual or not. It's not like I'm equating it with being turned on. I don't pee in the tanker and then immediately masturbate after. I've done it when I was horny, and I've done it when I wasn't horny. I'm single during a pandemic. I'm always horny. I don't necessarily think it's a sexual impulse, but I'm not sure it isn't either. More often than not, when I partake in my secret pee shenanigans, it's late at night, and I'm generally under the influence of at least a little bit of weed or alcohol, though not always that much. I've never watched water sports porn on purpose. Always read the tags, y'all. She puts in parentheses. And I don't really have the impulse to do so now. The idea of peeing on someone or being peed on does nothing for me. So if this does turn out to be a kink thing for me, I don't think it's going to be a deep dive. I don't do anything weird with the pee. I just wait until I think I can safely dispose of it without being intercepted with my pee mug in hand. That would be awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure why the fuck I'm doing this, but it's not ruining my day either. I hope one day I figure it out, or maybe the impulse will miraculously stop on its own. Maybe this is the start of a weird new kink adventure. I don't really know. Thanks for listening. Love and miss the show already. Heart.
Wow. Listen, that is interesting as fuck.
I know. And that must be so hard to live your whole life, like not having to share anything and like living on your own, and then all of a sudden you have all these roommates. Like, I totally get it. Right now, I live with 3 boys.
Well,
so.
And that is sort of what my theory is the fact that this person has always had so much privacy, and then all of a sudden that got stripped from them whenever they had to live with other people. Maybe that she stumbled upon a thing that she was keeping private, like a thing that she had to keep secret, and that is what is driving this. Like, all of a sudden she has a new thing that's just for her in this apartment, and that's sacred to her now.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that, I was thinking too, it's like your whole life you've kind of been in control of like your surroundings and things, and I'm not trying to say that you're a control freak or that there's even anything wrong with being a control freak, because I know I am a little bit. But maybe it's like all of a sudden you don't really have control of when you can or cannot go pee. And this solution, it's like you have 100% control over that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe. I don't know. And you say that you have social anxiety, so I bet that plays into it too. Like,
yes,
you didn't want them to know that you had to pee twice within a short amount of time. Like, that's not really a big deal, but the fact that you were thinking about it is like, yeah, you do have a little bit of social anxiety, and I'm not surprised that, you're doing this. I don't know.
No, the fact that the control thing makes a lot of sense to me. This beer tanker is all of a sudden turned into like a holy grail for her, where she doesn't ever have to be concerned about leaving her room if she doesn't feel like it ever again. Like, she peed in it out of necessity once, and all of a sudden it clicked something in her brain where she was like, fuck, I never have to leave my room to pee ever again. Because
How nice.
you're not doing anything wrong. It's convenient as fuck. Like, oh, okay, so of course, as a boy growing up, I peed in bottles all the time, like in a car, like on long road trips. But Emily, this is a secret that I'm gonna reveal to you right now because you were there.
Okay, well, I have a secret too, but
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God, okay.
You go first.
So, a few years ago, we went to New York together for your birthday. It was supposed to be a trip with you and your mom, and then I
Yourself.
I invited myself, yes. But you and your mom stayed in like a fancy hotel, like downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any money, and since it was sort of spontaneous, I got a really, really, really cheap room at a YMCA in a weird part of Manhattan. What I found out whenever I got there was that.
Sorry.
What I found out whenever I checked into my room is that I didn't have an adjoining bathroom. I had to share bathrooms with the entire floor. And so
strangers.
Yes.
Ugh.
And so one night after hanging out with you and your mom, I made it back to the YMCA. I got to my room where I kept drinking alone just because I was on vacation, and then had to pee so bad, but did not feel like walking across like the floor to the shared communal bathroom. So I totally peed in a Snapple bottle and left it there by my bed. And then in the morning I woke up hungover as fuck, saw that bottle of urine because all I wanted to do was reach over and chug some water. And I was like, what did drunk Jake fucking do last night? And so I had to pull a Viola and hide my shame like underneath my jacket or whatever, walk it across the hall the next morning
and just throw it away
and then dump it into a toilet. So
oh my God, what if you had taken a sip of it though? Because I've woken up in the middle of the night being like, oh, I'm so thirsty, and I just like reach over and drink whatever's next to me.
That could have happened. I'm so glad
I thought that's what you were about to say to me. I'm not kidding. Oh my God.
Thank God it did not come to that, but
thank God.
And doing so did not unlock like a behavior for me, but I can see in the person who wrote in Viola's case why that might click something in her brain where she was like, wow, I just did this, I got away with this, this can be my own private thing from now on.
Right, this works.
Yeah.
I don't hate this.
So what was
funny.
What was your secret?
Well, what this reminded me of was a memory that I have from when I was maybe like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, maybe younger. But I was driving with my parents before they divorced and my brother in our minivan to Louisiana, and I had to pee so bad. And my dad would not pull over. He was just that dad who was like, nope, we're getting there. We're
making good time.
Yes, we stopped once. We're not stopping again, even though who cares what time you fucking get there. Anyway. I had to pee so bad, and so my mom, like, digs through whatever we have in the car and pulls out a fucking beef jerky bag. And I remember her, like, holding open the beef jerky bag, and I had to, like, straddle over it and pee in the beef jerky bag. Meanwhile, my brother is sitting there just, like, laughing at me, and I'm crying because my brother's laughing at me, and I had to pee so bad, I had no other choice.
What?
My dad wouldn't pull over. My mom was like, you have to pee in this. My brother was laughing. It was traumatic. So I feel a certain way about beef jerky these days. I don't know if she threw it out the window or if she waited, like held on to it and threw it out when we got there. I don't know, but that's what it made me think of. Again, like you, it did not unlock something in me where it's like, now I only pee in beef jerky bags. I can't believe I've never told you that.
That is so funny, Emily. Just that image.
Yeah, it was terrible. I have to pee, speaking of.
Oh my God. Okay, well, let's just wrap this up before you go pee by saying that we stand with you, Viola, in solidarity. That really was fascinating.
It was.
And
I do want to know, like, how you wipe. Maybe you're one of those badass chicks that doesn't have to wipe. I'm one of those badass chicks that definitely has to wipe. But I'm like, what did you use? Did you have to use anything? Shoot us an email because I'm curious.
Please.
I really am.
And give us an update. After the quarantine pandemic is over, do you think you're going to keep doing this?
Yeah,
Like,
or if you
up?
lived by yourself, like if you moved out and it was just you, would you continue to do this.
And you must be very strategic in how you exit your room with this beer stein every time. I would love to know if you've ever been caught, like, carrying it out of your room. Like, what do you do in that case?
Oh, here's beer.
Chug-a-lug-lug.
I'm about to pee myself up, Jake. I'm so sorry. I have to go. Bye.
Quick, grab the beer stein.
What?
Should you pause it?
What?
Pause it?
I didn't pause it. Sorry.
Woo!
Welcome back, Jakey.
I know you just peed. You can
Yeah.
empty your beer tanker later.
Later.
Because right now, we have to move on to my next secret, which is fascinating. This one's
I
kind of...
can't wait.
This one's kind of spooky.
I love spooky.
Okay, so there's no name for this one, but the subject is dead best friend.
Oh.
My ex-husband's best friend died almost a year before I met my ex. A couple years into our relationship, his friend started talking to me.
What? Oh my god.
He would stand behind me and tell me things. I could tell my husband stories about his past that he had never told me before.
Oh my god. Ooh.
He,
That's amazing.
he would also joke and laugh and try to steal my attention. This happened for at least a year, off and on. Every time he would visit, he would end with telling me to ask my husband to say goodbye, but he would always refuse. It got to the point to where sometimes his friend would just show up to ask my husband to say goodbye. Finally, one day, I had convinced him to just say goodbye. I haven't talked to his friend since. I missed him for quite some time afterwards. I felt like I got to know him, and even though my husband got his chance to say goodbye, I never got to.
Oh my god.
And that's the end.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh. So he came to just get a goodbye from his friend?
I suppose so. It's tragic and mysterious, and what do you...
And oh my god,
think?
my heart. My heart.
It's like, I mean, it sounds just like a good, like, ghost story, heartbreaking movie. Like, he just needed the closure of his best friend to
Yes,
say
he
goodbye
couldn't
to.
like cross over to the other side until he said goodbye to his best friend. I feel like I would do the same. I would haunt your significant other until, because it's almost like you're hurt, and so if I did try to come to you and I was like, Jake, say goodbye to me, you would be like blocking me out because you're sad and you don't want to believe it.
So then you go to
But
the
it's
next
like
person.
your partner, right? Your partner was open to it, so I'm like, oh, I'll use their partner to get to Jake.
Ooh, that answers my question. I was wondering why the best friend wouldn't have just appeared to the husband. But
Well, think about it. The husband kept being like, no, I'm not going to say goodbye. Like, I don't believe you. Like, no. So he was clearly closed off and, like, not open
probably
to it. So,
really depressed from his...
so it wasn't working. He wasn't able to communicate with him because he wasn't open to it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Dang.
That gives me goosey bumps.
So if you die or if I die, now we know to go to each other's significant other in order to say goodbye.
The thing that gives me the tingles the most about this is that she would tell her husband stories that he had never told her before. She would be like,
Well, what about that time you peed in a beef jerky bag?
and he's like, I never told anyone about that except my best friend. Whoa! Oh my god, we have to write this movie. That is such a good
this is
story.
Good. Oh, that was so sad.
my
Thank you so much
God.
for writing that in. Shit.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Aw.
Okay, that was a shorty.
That was a shorty, which is good, because mine was a longie.
Yeah, since yours was a longie, I think that means that we get to move to the Swippity Swap.
Swap.
So, the story that Emily Swippity swapped to me is from a listener using the fake name BZ. Subject, crazy for pussy. Okay. Skeptical. Crazy for pussy. Okay, can't wait. When I broke up with my first girlfriend, I was pretty sad. She had a bad attitude and was really controlling, but I was still sad and spent the following nights getting out of my mind stoned in the apartment with my cat. One of those nights, I had just taken a fat rip off my bong when there was a loud banging at my door. It was around midnight, and I was blazed as shit, so there was no way I was getting up. Less than a minute later, it happened again. Except this time louder. Even though I was high as balls, I was mostly just annoyed because I had to get up and check shit out. Looking out the peephole, I saw no one was there. I knew for a fact I wasn't tripping, so before I went back to my chair, I opened the blinds next to the door so I could see the punk next time he tried to fuck with my door. Not a minute after I sat back down, did I see a small shadow pass in front of the window. Oh my god, this is scary. I sat there frozen while the thing looked back at me before disappearing again. Then bang, bang, bang on the door again. I hopped up and flung my door open. No one was there, but I heard footsteps running away, so I stepped outside and yelled some shit at whoever was fucking with me. That's when my front door fucking closed and locked behind me. Oh, this is fucked up.
I know.
Okay, I literally felt like I was in the movie The Strangers or some shit. Woo! Oh, The Strangers, side note, The Strangers is my most scariest movie. This is so fucking scary. So he was out on his front stoop and his front door closed and locked behind him. Woo! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, chills. After a few seconds, I sprinted around my complex to the alley where my patio door was, and I looked for the key that I kept hidden under the steps. But it was gone. Luckily, the dumbass that broke into my place didn't lock the back door behind them. And when I went inside, the first thing I noticed was that my front door was left wide open. That was straight up the scariest shit that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
But I was 19 and way too high to want to call the cops.
Understood.
I get that.
Understood.
Even though it probably would have been fine.
Yeah. Still.
A few days go by, and I get a text from my ex's friend saying that I need to give my ex her cat back. Even though I had the cat before we started dating.
Parentheses.
I said fuck no and to stay away from me. My landlord ended up changing my locks, and even though I can't prove it, I'm pretty certain that my crazy ex tried to steal my cat that night. Like, WTF. What the fuck?
So good. I mean, that totally makes sense because, I mean, clearly somebody knew that key was out back, right? Like,
yeah.
And of course your girlfriend would know that, or your ex.
Sure, she knew the house.
I bet her friend was there too, because it seems like somebody knocked on the door, ran away,
while
when,
the girlfriend was coming in the back door,
coming through the back,
and then closed the door behind him and locked him out. Woo! It was a 2-man job.
Yeah, these are some sneaky bitches.
That is.
Damn.
I mean, I hope that's what the explanation is, because that was really scary.
I know.
And especially being stoned, I mean, I would have had to call you to be like, I'm coming over to spend the night at your house. I'm so scared.
I'm not staying here. Yeah. I actually, commend this person for even opening the door and stepping outside and being like, hey, who's fucking with me? Because I wouldn't. I would just barricade the door and hide.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was a fucking good one.
I know. So good.
Crazy for pussy.
And you know what? Don't ever give that cat away ever.
Yeah, that was the best part.
That's your cat.
The girlfriend said, give me my cat back whenever he had the cat before they started dating.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's my cat. She was probably just trying to figure out
get his attention.
Yes, one more way to say fuck
Interact.
You and get his attention.
Back at him.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
And now I get the title Crazy for Pussy. That's really funny.
I know. Hilarious.
Okay, let me swippity swap one back at you.
Okay, so this is from E-Jack.
Wait, say the name again.
E-Jack, like ejaculation? We'll see. Okay. My partner and I have been together for over 5 years. We are in a very happy and loving relationship, but I hold a secret that he does not know. When we first started dating, we were both in college and he lived in campus housing. On late nights after school, I would stay with him. Sometimes we would leave together in the mornings, but sometimes I'd stay in his room after he left. What he doesn't know is that on the days he'd leave before me, I would find his laptop and log in to view his internet browsing history and go through all of the porn he watched. It really turned me on to watch porn I knew he watched and potentially got off to. I almost always masturbated to whatever porn I found. After all these years, I hate to say it, but I still love to look at his browsing and still get off to it. He doesn't know, or at least I don't think he knows, that I still do this. The end. Ooh! You know what?
That was well read.
Thank you. I think that's amazing and very healthy, because you would think that, like, the partner's reaction would be to be, like, jealous or mad or whatever, but instead this person is getting off on it, which I think is amazing and healthy, and I don't know. I just thought that's awesome.
Well, that's interesting that you said that, because I was going to ask you about it, because I looked up online to try to see if this was like a kink or a fetish that had a name, like the whole idea of a partner snooping into their partner's browsing history so they could get off to that, like, secretly. And all it pulled up was articles shaming people who do that, because it's mostly being like, I looked into my boyfriend's browsing history and now I'm jealous, or is it okay if I look in my boyfriend's browsing history because I want to know if he's looking at porn, and all the officials or all of, like, the therapists are being like,
that's a violation of privacy.
Yeah, like, the official advice is like, do not go into any adult's property, even if it is like a browsing history. That is a violation of privacy, like you said.
Totally, but this seems different because, well, I mean, is it different though when it's like a positive? Interesting.
It's different, and I think that it's the kink or fetish or whatever it is that the person who wrote in is sort of aligning with, as far as my speculation, is voyeurism, which is defined as an interest in observing unexpecting people while they undress, are naked, or engage in sexual activities. The interest is usually more in the act of watching rather than in the person being watched. So it seems like a type of voyeurism where this person is getting off to the fact that they are snooping behind their partner's back and looking at sexual stuff.
Right, because to them, they know that it's kind of like secretive and private to their partner. Like, their partner's searching these things thinking that nobody will ever know what I'm watching. Yeah. But then it's this kind of like thrill from being like, no, like, I'm watching what you thought was going to be private. I totally get it. Yeah. I actually really do.
Which I get, and I do think that it's not malicious, obviously, at all, because it's only the person that wrote in is only celebrating it. But does that make it not wrong?
Right.
Whenever someone's privacy is being breached, but not in a bad way, is that immoral?
I mean, that's a really good question. I do think privacy is privacy, like, whether it's positive or negative, because there could be people, you know, if somebody I didn't know was going through my browser history and they were, like, happy or, like, excited or jacking off to whatever I was watching, that would still be a violation of privacy. Like, it doesn't matter if you're mad about it or happy about it, you're still doing something without my consent.
Okay, so how would you feel if you went away on like, a weekend vacation, and then you came back, unlocked your front door, and your whole house had been cleaned from top to bottom, and your mom said, surprise, while you were gone, I snuck into your house and cleaned your house for you? Would you be like,
I would be like,
wow,
thank you, Mom. That's amazing. Yeah, I would not care. I would not care because I have a great relationship with my mom, and thank you for cleaning my house. It has nothing to do with porn. Porn to me is like more of a private. I feel like those are just so different. Like, yes, Mom, please come over and clean my house, but please do not go through my porn browser history.
Okay, bad analogy, because I think I would have been like, Mom, I wish you would have asked my permission first, because maybe I had something out that would have been embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, and I think that that's just different because I'm really tight with my mom, and there's probably nothing she doesn't know. Like, I wouldn't mind if she found all of my weed out of my house, or like my vibrator under my bed. Like,
sure,
she would get it.
But if my mom saw my weed or my vibrator, I would have been like, Mom,
right, don't ever
just break into my house without asking me first.
Right. Yeah, hi, Kim, I love you. You can break into my house and clean it anytime you want.
Hi, Vanessa, I don't really have a vibrator, but If I did, I wouldn't want you to see it.
I do think that no matter what, it is a violation of privacy, which is not cool.
Mhm.
But I think it is cool that you're not using this against him. You're getting off on it, which I do think changes it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And if your partner found out that you were getting off by the porn that he watched, I doubt that he would be hurt by that. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I agree with you. I think that's probably why they've kept this a secret from their partner, because it probably wouldn't make their partner upset, but it would burst.
It would ruin it.
Their bubble.
Right. It wouldn't make it as exciting anymore if they knew that their partner knew that they were watching it.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be exciting anymore.
Something the sexy part about it is that they're going behind their boyfriend's back.
Right.
A little bit.
Right.
Mm.
Because it's unfiltered. I would search something different knowing that my partner was knowing what I was searching versus what I would search if I knew it was private.
And it might make him behave differently in bed next time, knowing these like secret tips that he's getting from the shit that his boyfriend loves. He can take that to the bedroom and like really impress his boyfriend with like all of these things that he knows.
I know, it's like, how did you know that I'm into that?
Mm-hmm.
Ho, ho, ho.
How'd you know that I love my asshole being touched with a feather duster? Because it's all in your browsing history.
Browser history. That's so good. I like this one. That was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I'm so excited. I've missed Grave Games so much. I can't wait to learn a little something. And I'm super competitive, so I hope I win.
Yeah, okay, well, I can let you rest easy and know that there's not really any wrong answers for this one this time.
Thank God. Okay, interesting. So I don't have to say like a hunting memory if I lose, or
I don't think
TBD.
At least for this one, there's not going to be a penalty. This is just going to be a fun, soft way for us to start off the season.
That's great. That's great. I love it.
So I was thinking about like secrets and mystery, and it made me really think about conspiracies. I'm going to tell you 3 different government conspiracies, and you tell me if you believe them, if you think they're bullshit, or if you want to believe.
My opinion.
I want to hear your hot take on them.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
So, this first conspiracy is the government is putting chemicals in the tap water in order to turn citizens gay. So, Ig Nobel Prize, which is a parody of the Nobel Prizes, which annually awards people and foundations for dumb advancements in science and literature. I found this out. I think it's so funny. So it's like the opposite of the Nobel Prizes. They do an Ig Nobel Prize. In 2007, the Ig Nobel Prize people awarded the United States Air Force Wright Laboratory in Dayton, Ohio, for suggesting the research and development of a gay bomb which would cause enemy troops to become sexually attracted to each other.
And then just start fucking each other rather than their job.
Yes. So if we went to war with a country, we could just like drop this gay bomb on them and it would just make them all these raging gay.
Horny.
Yeah. And they would start fucking each other instead of attacking us.
Oh, God.
And so based on that, there was a conspiracy theorist and infamous radio host named Alec Jones who claimed that the government is putting chemicals in our tap water that are just turning everyone into homosexuals. What do you think about that?
I think it's absolutely true, because what else would make people gay?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard in my fucking life. That is atrocious. I mean, especially with what's actually really happening with tap water, with like Flint and the actual places that are really getting like poisonous tap water. I mean, this is insulting because this is actually happening, and it doesn't have anything to do with sexual orientation and the fact that anybody thinks that something could cause somebody to be gay. That just makes me mad that this even exists. That's so annoying.
Okay, next. The next conspiracy is the month of April is the government's blood sacrificing season. So, some people notice that oddly enough, a huge amount of tragedies happen during the month of April. According to these people, April is actually the government's blood sacrifice season, and during this month, the government performs sacrifices to the demon god Baal, and then later disguises these sacrifices as tragedies. So,
did it give any examples of what happened in April? Because, I mean, I'm like, the biggest tragic things that I can think of did not happen in April.
So there was a siege by the FBI in Waco in like 1994.
The Waco thing. Okay, yeah, that's a huge story.
Columbine happened,
Yeah.
and then a few other historic mass shootings and other like horrible tragedies did tend to happen mid-April in various years. Because of that, a lot of people are saying the government is actually just blood sacrificing people, and they're hiding it as tragedies.
The Lincoln assassination, the San Francisco earthquake, the sinking of the Titanic.
That happened in April?
Okay, yeah, the Waco siege, yeah, it ended in April. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff did happen in April. You're absolutely right. But the biggest, like, government thing that I think of is...
Happened in September.
9/11.
Yeah.
Because I don't want anybody to get mad at me. Please don't hate our podcast because I say this, but I am very skeptical of 9/11.
Me too.
Absolutely. Very skeptical.
That movie Zeitgeist that you made me watch made me question everything I thought about 9/11.
Yeah. We should watch that again.
I would love to. What is real? So anyways, conspiracy or not conspiracy? The government is sacrificing people in April in order to appease the demon god Ba'ul.
Well, probably. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Is Ba'ul Trump?
I don't know.
Plot twist.
Maybe.
Dang.
Last one, and this one is really going to shake you, I think. So, Charles Philip Arthur George Mountbatten Windsor, or more commonly known as Prince Charles, Prince of Wales,
Okay, thank you.
is a vampire.
Okay.
So listen,
Like, okay.
people seem to believe this theory because according to genealogical records, Prince Charles might have descended from Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration of Bram Stoker's Dracula. The prince even appeared in Romania's National Tourist Office ad where he claimed that Transylvania is in my blood. All these facts make people believe that the prince might actually be a vampire. What makes matters worse is a condition called porphyria, common amongst royals, which is caused by an iron deficiency that makes people's skin sensitive to daylight. However, there is no proof that Prince Charles has porphyria, but...
He might, though. And I don't think that we can, rule that out.
I think so, too.
He absolutely might. I'll be honest, what distracted me was the whole vampire thing that reminded me of when we lived together. And you had, like, a big deadline for a script you were writing. Mm-hmm. And you were so stressed out and you wouldn't hang out with me. And I would come home and you would just be in your room. You'd lock yourself away. And there was one night that it was about, 2:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I went into the kitchen to go get some water or a snack or something. And I turned on the lights and... Jake has this big blanket over his head, just wrapped around him, and he turns around and he literally goes he fucking vampire hissed at me because I turned the lights on. He was a fucking nightmare. I love you so much. He was really stressed out and he was really mean to me at that time, which is totally fine. Best friends do that to each other.
So are you saying that Prince Charles may not be a vampire? He might just be stressed because he does have
absolutely
the weight of the entire land of Wales on his shoulders.
Yes, I think that's totally it. I don't think he's a vampire. I think he's stressed and he works through the night.
But I am skeptical of all royal people and people in power in general. They probably are something, if not vampires, robots. Anyways, thank you for playing along. I know that was a little haphazard.
So did I win?
That's going to be up to the listeners to decide. They have as much information as you, and we'll just see if they agree or disagree with your wild assumptions, because I don't know. There's something in me that's telling me that the government is making everyone gay, but America does seem to get a little gayer and gayer every year.
Good.
Yeah.
Amazing. That was great, Jake. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's getting late. Do you want to go ahead and lay these secrets to rest?
I think so. Do you got your shovel?
I do.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for writing in. Whether you're a step-sibling fucker, a beer tanker peer, or, you just like to snoop in your boyfriend's browsing history every once in a while, we just want to thank you for writing in, and we are going to bury these secrets forever. You'll never have to worry about it again.
That's the beauty of this whole thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, let's get our shit and let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of creeped out. Remember, if you are jealous that you didn't get to have a secret put to rest, then fear not. You can always go to takethistoyourgrave.com, where you can anonymously submit any secret that you like.
Oh, we have a new feature this season. We now have a Google voicemail for those of you who don't want to actually type up your secrets. This is cool because we can either play your voicemail if you don't care that people hear your voice, or Google will just transcribe what you say and we'll read what Google gives us.
So now you have no excuse if you feel too lazy to write out your secret. You can call us at 469-608-1425. Remember, you can just slap a star 67 at the beginning of that, and we'll never know who called us in.
Follow us on Instagram at TakeThisToYourGravePod.
Oh, yeah. Okay, are you ready to get out of here? I really am scared.
Don't forget to lock the gate.
Oh, shit, I forgot. Okay. Buddies forever.
Buddies forever.
Bye,
Bye, bye, bye.